For more information regarding the local impact of the Bay Area wildfires here in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/2020fires.
Hi, I'm Mark Brunton. I'm the Operations Section Chief for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3, and I'm going to give you tonight's briefing on the CZU Lightning Complex. Today, again, we held a lot of good fire up here in Division Gulf and Kilo. Again, this is, we're just patrolling it. This is a back door to fire potentially burning over into Santa Clara County, into the communities such as Palo Alto, Los Gatos, and Los Altos. And so we wanted to make sure this was really sealed off and look good, and it is. It's holding well. We're continuing to mop up and patrol that heavily. So we're very confident that that's going to hold and be a very good control line for us there and part of our containment strategy. We still have some fire burning down into the creek, Butano Park, as well as in Loma Mar, but we're just continuing to monitor that. Part of our strategy, let it get down into this creek down here, and once it gets down there, we're able to get and attack it because it's right in some favorable ground that we're looking at utilizing. Continue to add as we can black on our map, which means containment, and we're putting in control lines throughout where we find favorable ground. Some of this, once again, we're letting it burn down to an area where we can get right after it, where it's more favorable and not too steep or rocky or anything that for our resources to have best effectiveness. Looking really good down on the coast. As we move further down, we get down towards Davenport, and that's looking really good. Again, control line around that. We've just started re-energizing some power into that community, so a lot of success with that. And then eventually that'll lead to some repopulation down the road. We've also, on Highway 1, done a lot of clearance of the road through Caltrans, and then the utility companies are going in and make sure their power lines are good and up and ready to support the repopulation when that occurs in the community. Down on the bottom part of the fire, we have our containment lines and control lines, or secondary control lines in place. With the upcoming weather, eventually will be a north wind that'll transition to. That'll wind test our lines, and wind testing means that we have a constant wind, steady wind on that, and we're not going to see any sort of push across our line or threaten our line. And once we have that and the extinguished fire, then that for us is an excellent indicator that we're not going to have any further spread of the fire to the south. So we always want to, when we have control lines in and we've done burnout operations and we're extinguishing, we'd like to have a wind tested line, because that's kind of the 100% that is controlled, and we're in good shape there. So again, those lines are really protecting the community of Santa Cruz and the UC campus, and as of this evening, they're starting to repopulate the UC campus. So that's a really great sign, and they're doing that because of our confidence in that part of the fire. The Highway 9 corridor continues to be a challenge for us. We've gotten a line around most of Felton, and tonight, this afternoon and tonight, we were burning in some lines, a control line that we've established just around the north side of Felton and below Ben Lomond. That's a good critical piece to really close off the door so that we won't have any sort of infringement upon the community of Felton. Once that's completed, this burnout operation is very controlled. It's a very planned event. And we had to start a little later than anticipated. The weather didn't quite participate like we were expecting it to. So because of that marine influence that stuck around for a long time, we had to delay the start of that operation. But we were able to start that operation about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then with the typical conditions that we see where the relative humidity drops and it does get drier and the air mass drier, then we actually will see a better burning condition for that burnout operation. So we're anticipating that to go rather well. It's going to go a little longer than we expected, but I think we're going to have a lot of success with that. And once that's done, that's going to be huge for us. We'll continue, as we have been, continuing to construct line behind the communities. So up past Ben Lomond, up past the community of Brookdale. That's looking really, really good, really in good shape. And then continuing up Boulder Creek. And behind that community, we're continuing to put line as we get more resources that we've been getting throughout the day. As a matter of fact, more crews we've received, and we're anticipating receiving more crews. That's a lot of good area for our Type 1 crews to work in. And when I talk about Type 1 crews, those are we type our crews, they give it different typing. And Type 1 means that they are of the highest standard. Means they have a certain level of training, they can produce a certain amount of line in certain fuels in a certain time frame. They're certified every year, so they have to go through a process of demonstrating that they meet that Type 1 criteria. And so our crews do that every year, and the crews that we're getting are of that Type 1 nature, and that's the perfect tool for that job right there. So they're going to continue to work. Fire is still staying on the ridge and backing down slowly, so it's working in our favor. We're starting to open up roadways, so Highway 236, we're working on that and working with Caltrans to open that up. For the other county roads, we've been working diligently with county roads to open up a variety of roads that have been blocked by down trees, and with the utility companies down power lines and poles and that sort of thing. And that allows us to get deeper in so that we can do damage assessment, and we can get in and also extinguish any sort of hot spots or fires in the deep drainages and so forth that exist. And it's a methodical process, a lot of work because of a lot of the downed materials on those roadways. So it's going to be a painstaking process, a long process, but we're going to chip away at that every day. And again, in the community of Bonnie Doon, we continue our patrol, our mop up, rendering that safe. We have the utility companies in there. They're doing their work to start trying to restore that to some normalcy, as well as other parts of the fire that we've have extinguishment and containment. The utility companies are in there working diligently to take care of that issue so that when we do get to the point of repopulation, when people repopulate, they have the comforts the best they can based on their situation, having power, water, and so forth. Our air program today wasn't as effective, and that because of the weather just really didn't cooperate with the marine influence. We really couldn't fly the aircraft, and it really wasn't going to be effective. So we didn't get a lot of hours with their aircraft. The air didn't really clear until late in the afternoon, but as soon as it did, we flew it to the most that we could fly the aircraft. They were only able to drop about 10,000 gallons of water this afternoon. Not a lot compared to what we were doing yesterday at around 265,000 gallons or 200,000 gallons a day before. But looking forward at our weather, we should be seeing some warming, some drying, which can have an effect on the fire in a negative way, but for the most part, with our containment lines we have in place, we're feeling really comfortable that we're going to be able to weather that drying and heated weather and that wind. But at the same time, that's going to clear the air so that we can fly our aircraft effectively and just, like I said, we'll time those out every day we possibly can so we get the best efficiency out of that resource. Again, we've been continuing to receive resources not only from other fires in the state as they're winding down, giving them to us, but also from outside the state. We've received resources from surrounding states such as Oregon, Arizona, New Mexico, and as far away as New Jersey. And we welcome them in to help us out, and they're doing a fantastic job out there helping us with our overall plan. And we're just another day closer to getting this fire completed and people back home.
For more information regarding the local impact of the Bay Area wildfires here in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/2020fires.